Welcome to another episode of Chappy Hour. My name is Chloë Chapdelaine, and you can probably already guess who our guest is here today. If you don't know who it is.
I'm a fan favorite.
She's a fan favorite and a good friend of the show. We said last time basically a co-host at this point.
Yeah, I just like to hear myself listen. I mean, what did I say? I like to
listen to myself. But you haven't
to
even listened to the full episodes yet, have you?
2 of them.
Okay.
Which I'm in, so.
Hey, that's pretty good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Anyways, we've got Ananya here today on this episode. We are pretty pumped to be going again. There was a Super Bowl happening this week.
Yeah.
What else happened this week that was exciting?
I feel like that was the biggest thing.
That was basically it. And then
there was the Grammys.
Oh, the Grammys. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, we've just been working full time and it's been a lot. So that's why today it looks like we're having a glass of red wine, but we're not. It is actually tart cherry juice, which I don't know if you've heard, but there's a trend going around that has to do with it. And we'll talk about it in a little bit. But we better get started. Cheers! Welcome to Chappy Hour. It's kind of like happy hour, but with me, Chloë Chapdelaine, where I catch up with a friend over drinks. It doesn't need to be 5 o'clock to join, so grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Cheers. Makes my mouth water when I drink it.
Kind of like a sour candy.
It literally makes my mouth water as I'm speaking. Something in me, though, every time I have a sip of it, my body is telling me to chug it. Like, I don't get that way with water, but, like, I'll have a sip, like a baby sip of the tart cherry juice, and my body's like, chug, chug, chug. Like, I just want to down it.
You think it's like an alcohol?
No, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why.
Like, it's like a beer keg. I just need to chug it.
Today, we are starting with the I'll Take a Double section of the podcast because we like to start off strong on this show. And we have some really good life hacks here today that we are going to share with you. And one of them has to do with the drink that we are drinking. I don't know if you've heard, but there is a trend going around right now with tart cherry juice. And people are drinking it before they go to bed because they said that it helps them sleep better.
Oh.
And this is because apparently tart cherry juice has properties that can help you naturally produce melatonin when you're going to bed. And because of the melatonin in your body, it helps you sleep better.
You know what? There's a sleep hack actually that I've tried, which I don't know if it's more of a hack, but like a fail for me.
Yeah.
It's the magnesium.
Yeah.
So like if you take like 2 magnesium pills at night, it tells you that like I think a couple of hours before you're trying to go to bed, like you should be like knocked out.
Yeah.
But I just stayed up. Like it didn't really help me like fall asleep faster, like didn't make me get like a deeper sleep or anything like that. I feel like it's also supposed to help you like fall into REM sleep faster, but I didn't feel that at all.
Okay, I've tried the magnesium and I think that it matters what type of magnesium you're taking.
Oh,
do you know what type you were taking?
No, I just know it was like blended with like vitamin C also.
Okay, because there are apparently different types of magnesium. This is me from my own personal research, so don't quote me on this. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But there are different types, and the different types of magnesium can have different functions in your body. So I think there's like magnesium oxide, which is like one of the lowest forms.
Yeah.
Like in terms of it making you sleep better, because that can kind of just give you the runs, like give you diarrhea apparently.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I didn't try that one.
Versus magnesium glycinate, which I think can still have that effect, but that one is supposed to affect you more like if you're going to sleep and brain health. And there's also magnesium citrate.
Okay, that's the one I tried.
Okay, yeah. There's all different types and they have slightly different functions in the body. So that's something to note, I think, if you're trying to sleep, to make sure you're taking the right type of magnesium so that your body can absorb it better, because you want one that's very bioavailable.
Okay, that makes sense. So I tried the magnesium citrate.
Okay.
And that did not work for me. So maybe this is like a trial and error thing where I would need to see like if like maybe magnesium glycinate works better.
Yeah, the one that I have is a magnesium bisglycinate, and I actually do think it works. And actually part of this tart cherry juice trend, that's hard to say, tart cherry juice trend that I've been seeing is people are making what they're calling sleepy girl mocktails.
Oh.
And so they're taking tart cherry juice and they're adding magnesium powder. I don't know if they're breaking open the pills or if you can actually buy a powder. You can probably just buy a powder. And then they're blending it with a gut health fizzy soda or something along those lines. Like some people are using poppy.
Yeah.
I've tried it with kombucha, but then it's supposed to encourage good gut health while also
the
giving
good bacteria and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. While also giving you the benefits to help you sleep better. And it's supposed to taste great, and it's supposed to replace a glass of wine before bed, which is why we are drinking some today.
See, then I would have to try that.
I haven't tried that specific formula, with the poppy and the magnesium mixed in.
Yeah.
I just took the pills separately, but I do think it might have an effect.
Okay.
It's hard to tell, though. I have an Oura ring, so maybe I should track it with my ring.
Yes, you should definitely do that.
Yeah.
And get back to me on the results.
I will. Another life hack I have is one brought to you by a coworker that I learned this from.
Okay.
His name is Brayden. He works in my office with me. Shout out to Brayden. Go follow him on TikTok. He's doing great things and he's just getting started. Brayden taught me that if you go to Chipotle, there are options like burritos, burrito bowls, etc. He said instead of buying a burrito, instead get the burrito bowl. Then for an extra charge, I think it's like 25 cents or 50 cents, a really small charge, you can get a tortilla on the side. And you can make your own burrito with a burrito bowl that you order. So you can stuff it up and you have what feels like a lot more food, and then you have the benefits of having both a burrito and a burrito bowl, or you can get a couple tortillas and make several burritos. But that's his life hack, and I think it's
really smart.
I think it's a good one.
No, that's really smart.
Have you been to Chipotle since it's opened in Calgary?
No, I haven't. It's so far.
I Uber Eats'd it.
Did you?
Because I wanted it.
How was it?
It was great.
Was it?
It was amazing.
Do you think it's better than the Canadian Mucho Burrito?
Yes.
You do?
I do. I think that they put more guacamole on when you request guacamole.
Oh, see, I've heard mixed reviews where I've heard people say that they actually prefer Mucho Burrito.
Really? Mm-hmm. I've never really been a huge Mucho Burrito fan, but I love Chipotle. I don't know what it is about them.
I do love Mucho Burrito, so I would like to do a comparative to see. Maybe I'll have to Uber Eats it.
But we're going to move into the daily special section of this podcast. And this is where we go over everything that is trending, what we're seeing right now, and how we feel about it. And we've got a few trending topics happening this week. One that I think is happening in all of our lives as we are aware of it or not aware of it. It's slowly creeping in. And that's membership fees.
Yeah.
There are membership fees for everything right now. It's not just your gym that you're going to.
No.
Or your Pilates studio. There are now membership fees for so many different things. Think apps. Used to be able to buy an app.
Think Adobe. Do you remember where you could just buy a disc and that was like your permanent Adobe on there forever, like Lightroom? And now you have to pay for the membership for everything.
And it's like $70 a month. I have it because that's what I edit this podcast on, which is kind of crazy to me. But anyways, not just that. I heard somebody say yesterday that they had a membership for their alarm clock.
Oh, what?
For their alarm clock to wake up in the morning. If they wanted to have the beautiful like birds chirping sound, or they wanted to choose what sounds were associated with the alarm clock going off in the morning, they had to pay a subscription fee.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not just that. I have a ring. I have a ring that tracks my sleep. I mentioned it earlier, the Oura ring. I love it. I think it's really cool. I think it's valuable. But when they first launched it, you buy the ring, and it's not cheap. It's a few $100s.
Yeah.
Now you don't just buy the ring; you have to buy the ring plus the membership in order to read all of your insights and analytics from throughout the night. Yeah. And when is it gonna stop?
I know, it's crazy because it's like even like photo editing apps like on your phone. They're like not like you can buy outright. Like you have to pay like monthly fees of like $6.99, and you're like, frick, like do I want to spend $6.99? Sometimes you don't even end up using those apps.
And I think that's how they get you sometimes.
That is, because like I'm literally paying for like a $2.99 Aurora watch app, which I'm like, does it actually? It doesn't even really provide me.
You pay for that one?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I thought it would give me like real data, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, I think what they do is they draw you in, you start paying, and then you forget about it, and you're gonna pay for the rest of your life.
That's exactly it. So now I was like contemplating. I'm like, should I just like delete it? And remember, you were sending me like notifications like on like just like randomly, like you'd message me, but I'm like, where are you getting your info from?
I'm just on my phone all the time.
See, there
straight
you go.
up.
There you go.
So
maybe the app's really not even worth it.
Yeah, but I think it's weird because I can see both sides where there is benefit and where there isn't. And obviously where there isn't benefit is it's financially taxing. And I feel like a lot of the time it feels unnecessary, like a scam.
Okay, I'm going to segue into something I'm going to ask. what do you feel about when Netflix did that change of the membership fee? You know, where they were like, oh, it's for like the one household.
It makes me so
mad.
Angry. Actually,
Right?
I could go on such a rant about this. I've been on my parents' Netflix account forever. Like since we got Netflix.
Right.
Like I was on their account and it was great. I moved to Calgary where I'm located now. I continued to be on their account. They claim that they paid for a certain amount of users, a certain amount of screens to be allowed to use.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even use it.
Because you're so far away.
I actually just bought Netflix for the first time reluctantly this week.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what am I supposed to do? Because everybody's like, have you watched the new Love is Blind?
Oh,
Have you loved
I
the
know.
There's so many reality TV shows that I need to keep up with.
Yeah.
Not that I need to, but I feel out of the loop when people are talking about it and I have no idea what's going on. I finally caved and I'm thinking about canceling it because it just makes me so angry. It feels like a money grab.
Oh, it totally does. It totally does feel like a money grab. I was like, are you serious right now? I'm like, I can't believe you're splitting it between now like screens and users. Like before it just used to be one family.
Yeah.
So again, I'll segue out, but yeah, that was one of my
so
gripes.
what are you thinking are some of the benefits of membership fees?
Well, like it depends. So like, what was the? I forget. Maybe you know this, but you know that there was like that kind of like Socality, but like they were called like Classroom or something like that, where they would teach you like
Mastermind or something.
That's it,
like
Masterclass.
Masterclass. That's
yeah,
it.
and like where you could learn from like a culinary chef
Yeah,
or like
I got asked to do an episode on that.
Yeah,
or to have a course or something.
Those were cool because when I did the free trial, I was like, honestly, like this is something I would do. Like, let's just say you're really into like making your own pasta or something like that. There's literally like 10 episodes with like different types of chefs where you can learn how to do that. Or if you're interested in like pottery class, like you can learn so many cool things with that.
So it's funding more resources to go into things to give you more.
Yeah, like if you have hobbies and like if you're not like gonna search YouTube or something like that, it's like a curated area where you can just like find it all for you.
And I agree with that also in the sense of it creating community.
Agreed.
And I say that directly from one of the companies that I work for. I work for a company called Socality. Yeah. What they do is they connect creatives from across the world through both online and in-person workshops. And it's really cool. And recently they launched a membership.
Yeah.
And lots of people, as we're saying right now, have mixed reviews about memberships. But this one is one that's really valuable to me because it is giving people, first of all, not only all of these resources that they're getting immediately when they sign up. And it sounds like I'm pitching it, but I work for them. So I am biased when it comes to it.
Of course.
But I think it's so valuable in terms of creating community, creating spaces for people to talk and collaborate and grow together. And because now there's this membership fee in place, it's also funding the resources that continue to build those communities to offer more, to give more value.
And it's nice because it's not like fully curated, but it's still curated in a sense. Like, let's just say you're teaching about like photography. Like you can click in one of the episodes and it would be about that, or like if it's about like sewing or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's still curated towards like the users, and you have the ability to like banter with like other people in the audience. Like, they can have ask questions.
Speaking of things with cult followings or communities or kind of that concept, but to a different degree, people with their water bottles, they're not just plastic disposable water bottles. I'm talking brand name water bottles.
Stanley cups.
Owala is a new one. I have Simple Modern.
I only remember like Hydro Flask.
Hydro Flask. Do you remember back in the day Swell bottles? I thought I was so cool with my Swell bottle.
Same. I'm like, I think the last cool bottle I have is like Hydro Flask.
Yeah. Have you bought into the Stanley trend?
No, it's too big.
It's too big. So anyways, I have learned a lot about water bottles in the last little bit.
Oh, okay.
Not by choice. It's just been people giving me information. And I did not realize how crazy people go for water bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Now, to me, the point of a reusable bottle, like a Stanley or a steel water bottle, is to reduce waste in general.
Of course.
Because you are no longer using single-use plastics. You are now supposed to be drinking tap water, refilling it all the time, reducing your consumption overall. That's not what's happening, I don't think.
Oh, what do you mean?
In several aspects. First of all, if you have 25 reusable water bottles, that is wrecking to me the whole point. So say you have a Stanley.
Like 25 Stanley cups.
Yeah, like a Stanley cup in purple and pink and blue and yellow and red and green. Like, do you need that? Do you really need that?
No.
Because to me, that is over consumerism. Like, that's just crazy.
I feel like it's an essential item that's turned into like a collectible item. Does that
yeah,
make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And apparently, like, even a Valentine's Day collection drop. This episode's going to be dropping on Valentine's Day. There was a Valentine's Day drop for Stanley water bottles, and people were trampling each other, like injuring each other, trying to grab these water bottles off the shelf. And that blows my mind. But then it gets worse. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm like, fine, buy your Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Even if it has lead in it, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, does the Hydro Flask don't too?
Nope. Hydro Flask doesn't.
God.
And they've got beef right now. They're like starting internet wars between each other, like slandering each other. I feel like
it's probably because like Hydro Flask is like, we're still cool.
Yeah. But anyways, what I was going to say is, sure enough, buy your water bottle, your reusable water bottle.
Yeah.
Fill it with tap water, right? That's the point of it?
Yeah.
But people are now going out and buying cases and cases of plastic water bottles to fill their reusable water bottles with. And does that not defeat the whole purpose of buying a reusable water bottle?
So essentially they're putting in microplastics into their water bottle?
Yeah.
Which they're probably trying to avoid in the first place, because like that's the point of buying a water bottle in the first place.
So now they're not just consuming the plastic bottles, they're also using and consuming the reusable ones, and it's just, to me, increasing waste, and it's just defeating the whole purpose. I feel like the plot has been lost.
No, that makes no sense. You might as well just use the plastic water bottle. It makes no sense.
Like, I'm trying to think of what reason would you have for doing that, and I guess I can think of the reason, okay, I like the taste of bottled water more than tap water, and you don't want tap water, but then buy a water filter.
Or don't buy Stanley Cups, just get the plastic bottle.
Or just buy the water.
Just buy the plastic
but then
bottle.
You're not cool.
It makes no sense. If you want to just drink like the plastic bottle water, just drink out of the plastic bottled water. Why do you have to put it in a new container? That makes no sense.
Yeah. And then, okay, another trend that I've been seeing is heart jewelry, because I mentioned Valentine's Day. It's coming up. It's Valentine's Day if you're listening to this today. Heart jewelry is making a comeback, I think.
You think that's a good thing?
I have mixed reviews. I
have very strong opinions on heart jewelry, and you know that because I'm so...
Tell me your opinions.
I hate it. I truly do. I just think it's so tacky. Like, as an adult, it's not cute. You know when you're in grade 8 and you had a boyfriend and he's like, here's like a little bracelet with a little heart. You're like, oh, cute.
I had a high school boyfriend buy me a heart necklace.
Okay, see, cute. Like, again, if you're like a teenager, cute. Okay. I think as an adult, once you hit 20, not cute. I just don't think it's cute.
Okay, what do you do instead? Just give them the gemstone? Like,
yeah, just like be thoughtful. Okay, just be thoughtful. Like, let's just say your girlfriend says like, you know, like it's your anniversary and she says, oh, like I really love like gold hoops. Yeah. Don't get her a silver heart necklace.
Yeah, because that's not being thoughtful at all. It feels like a cop-out.
And it's also like, let me tell you, the girlfriend's probably like, oh my God, this isn't even my taste. If she wanted like gold hoops, she's going for like a classic look. Let's be real. She's not going to wear the heart necklace.
Men, you should be listening up to this section. Yeah. It's safer not to buy heart jewelry, even if it's trending right now. But there is one type of heart jewelry that I can get on board with.
Okay, go ahead.
And I feel like it's because it gives me this really nostalgic feeling.
Okay.
It's little gold heart lockets. Like itty bitty micro ones. Like
the cute vintage ones?
Yeah. The ones that look vintage. And the reason I say that is because I used to have a little heart locket when I was a kid. It came in a storybook, I'm pretty sure.
Aww.
I think it did at least. But it was the cutest little thing. And I was like, you know, I think that'd be so cute to have.
Yeah.
So like I support that. I think that's cute.
I support that too, but only because I love the whole vintage aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Like if you wear it well, it like works with everything.
Yeah.
And it can be unique. So I appreciate that. So like a vintage heart locket type thing, I think is cute.
But something that to me is absolutely steering away from the vintage aesthetic that we're talking about is a trend that I've been seeing in specifically a lot of celebrities and influencers lately.
Oh.
Veneers.
Yeah.
Fake teeth, basically. So it's not quite dentures. It's you're shaving down your teeth in most cases, and you're putting over a not plaster, but like
but it's
porcelain.
Like, it's not even really veneers, because veneers, like you're not supposed to turn them into little whittled down things. They are full on getting crowns, but like really bad, like chiclet teeth.
And how do you feel about all of these celebrities getting veneers?
I feel like they look like Uncanny Valley.
It's kind of creepy to me.
It is.
I personally think, so I will say this, there was a phase in my life a few years ago, before veneers were even super popular, that I wanted veneers.
Same.
And I thought it would be like so nice. I just wanted bigger teeth. I felt like my teeth were so small, but I've come to a point in my life now where...
Oh my God, I was the opposite. I wanted smaller teeth. I was like...
We could trade.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I have two like horse teeth.
That's so funny. You don't have horse teeth at all.
But that's what I always thought. I was like, I want tiny teeth.
That's so funny. But yeah, I was saying I've come to a point in my life now where I think teeth are such a unique characteristic to people's faces.
Totally.
And I've almost never met a person whose teeth don't match their face to me.
Yeah.
You know, now that I think of it, I think that it gives you such a unique, beautiful quality that really makes you stand out and is what makes you you.
I agree. So like, I totally agree with that. And it's funny because like, you know, if you have like overcrowding or like an overbite or underbite and you want to fix that with like Invisalign or braces, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But you're still keeping like your natural like teeth intact.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to fix like little chips and things with like bonding and stuff like that, I totally get that too. But if you're like whittling down your teeth to like nubs,
yeah, that's really scary. And I've heard lots of horror stories of people who have gone to Turkey to get teeth specifically.
Oh, because they're cheaper.
Because they're cheaper. And then they get home and they've got a huge array of problems. Like they don't have a proper bite because they didn't go to a dentist that like properly took the time to make it fit their mouth. They're getting pain. It's just not working out at all.
And have you seen like, okay, so it's funny. There used to be a British reality TV show, and this guy was on it, and he recently went to Turkey, and he's getting annihilated, obviously, on TikTok. But his teeth, because he also tans so much because he's British.
Okay.
His teeth were so white.
Oh, no.
Like, they look cartoony. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's literally in a nightclub.
Yeah, like teeth.
Literally he's in a nightclub, and they're, like, fluorescent glowing.
Oh, man.
And people are like, dude, that's not good. And then the next day he's like, no, what are you talking about? It looks so natural.
That's so funny. I think that's a trend in Britain.
Yeah, to be extra white.
I don't know, just to get veneers and have them show up for real. And my ex-boyfriend, his sister and her husband both went and got veneers as well.
In Turkey, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
I probably, maybe, I don't know where she got them, but they stand out so much to me.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are they so blindingly white?
Yeah.
I feel like there needs to be like like, you know how there's teeth are normally naturally a little yellow?
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Some of the veneers out there, I don't know.
No, me neither. Some celebrities that I've seen a lot of criticism with the teeth on is Miley Cyrus to begin with. I saw a video on her today, which I don't think that hers are bad.
Hers are actually pretty good.
To me, they're good, but I saw somebody just ripping them apart online, which I don't like to judge other people's appearances.
No.
Like, I don't think that it
I don't
does
think
good for anybody.
No.
But one that I was personally really sad about was Sam Claflin.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know about that one either. I have to look it up.
Like, way back in the day when Sam Claflin was on the Hunger Games as Finnick, he was like my celebrity crush. I was in love with him.
Yeah.
And then I matched with him on Raya a few years ago before I met Hamish.
You did? I thought he was married then.
It was right when he went to his divorce or like split up. It was like right then.
Oh.
And I was like, no way.
What?
Yeah, he was like way older than me though. So obviously didn't go anywhere.
Okay.
But then like part of that attraction for me back then and up until he changed his teeth was his cute little pointy canines.
Like the canines.
Yeah, like I just thought it was such a cute little smile.
Teeth.
It was like such a cute, unique little smile.
Yeah, it's
and
cute.
now it's just like every other person.
I know. I hate it when they like make them like all like so even. It looks freaky.
Yeah.
I don't like that. There's no characteristics.
I don't like that either. But to do with more face enhancements, things to go on that line of things, I have a story I want to talk about with a brand that is under fire right now that has to do with skincare specifically. So we are moving into the On the Rocks section of the podcast. This is where we're talking about
my favorite,
the drama, Ananya's favorite, the gossip, favorite. All the juicy stuff. This is the part you guys actually listen for. Pretty much. I mean, skip ahead. You don't even have to listen to us talking about our life hacks or anything. Just skip to this part every time.
Yeah.
But the brand CeraVe. Do you know this brand?
Yeah.
It's a skincare brand for anybody who doesn't know. They do lotions, face washes. I was first introduced to it when I was a teenager from my dermatologist.
Oh.
Yeah, and their products, in my opinion, are really good products. Like the lotion doesn't make me break out.
Yeah.
They were part of my big skin barrier healing journey when I was trying to heal my acne, because I used to have really bad acne. I went through Accutane several times.
Yeah.
And so I like CeraVe as a brand. I think that they're great.
I do too. I feel like they did great branding too. It's like they're like essentially like the most relatable like skincare brand. Super also affordable. I think in comparison to like most skincare brands also.
They're affordable and they're no frills.
Yeah.
They just give it to you as it is and it's good. But recently the problem that they've been facing has to do with commercials they've been putting out.
Oh, okay.
You said you like their branding, but this part is a little bit questionable to me. So I mentioned the Super Bowl happened this week, and that was very exciting for a lot of people. I personally didn't watch it, but
neither.
The part that I'm most interested in when it comes to the Super Bowl is the commercials.
Yeah.
I love them. I think that they're fascinating. I love commercials. I worked on
Some
set
of their
for
commercials are pretty amazing.
They are.
Yeah.
I love it. And so CeraVe is one of the brands that had a commercial at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
This is a whole discussion I had at work today, and I want your opinion on it.
Okay.
You know Michael Cera.
Oh, yeah.
He is now the face of CeraVe.
He is?
Yeah. Did you see this commercial?
No.
There's a commercial with Michael Cera. It was like the Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
Where he is obviously using CeraVe, and he's like, I love when you put my cream on your face. And
Oh,
it's
because
just,
is it like a play on words or something?
yeah, it is. And it's really funny, but there's a lot of criticism coming from Michael Cera now being basically the spokesperson of CeraVe.
Okay.
Because have you ever before right now looked at Michael Cera and said, that man's skin, like he has the dreamiest skin?
I guess not. I feel like, okay, was the commercial funny? Because like I feel like
It was.
Okay, so maybe because he is a comedic
Yeah, he's a comedian.
actor,
basically.
right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the only reason they would do that is because of that. Because like, yeah, I wouldn't be like, wow, Michael Cera, you have the glowiest skin ever.
But do you think that type of commercial and bringing him in is appealing to all of these skincare fanatic users? Do you think it's drawing in more customers?
Yeah, see, like I feel like this is one of those, like, from a marketing perspective, I feel like this is like, let's make it viral without like the consequences. Whereas like, you can have content go viral, but you don't get like the right vibe at the end. Like things can get like 10, 20 million views, but like doesn't mean you're going to get like purchasers and like consumers out of it. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they were probably trying to make something really like out there and viral.
And it's working. We're talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. But does that mean I'm going to go out and buy CeraVe? Probably not.
I guess it's just increasing brand recognition.
That's probably what it is.
And I feel like it might also be reaching new audiences, because a lot of the people who use CeraVe are like skincare fanatics, people who really care about dermatology and stuff. And now the people who are just the everyday people who watch Michael Cera's funny acting roles,
I guess, yeah, that's what it is.
might be drawn in as well.
That's kind of what I would try to assume that they're doing it for. It's for like the general public.
Yeah.
But like, again, yeah, like I'm not looking at Michael Cera and being like, wow, like you have like the glowiest skin ever.
Well, now he has it. You should go see this commercial. It's pretty good.
So
it's kind of funny. But there's another commercial that's not getting as much of a positive review.
Oh.
Okay, I'd like to note before we dive into this section that I made a mistake when I was explaining this to Ananya, and I said that these were both the same brand, but they're actually two different brands. One of them is CeraVe, which is the one with Michael Cera, and the other one is not CeraVe. It's actually a very similar brand, in my opinion, called Cetaphil, and they are very similar brands in terms of branding, which is why I got them mixed up. But I would like to note that when I talk about the second brand, I'm not referring to CeraVe. And by the way, all of these stories are alleged. It initially, I think, got a positive review, but then something came out about it that changed people's opinions on it. So it was more of an emotionally touching commercial. It wasn't as much about the comedic value like the Michael Cera one. Okay. Where there was a daughter and her dad, and they were getting ready for the football game. Yeah. And it has to do something with the dad coming in and having the lotion or something on his face, kind of like with football, and they were bonding over that, and they were able to bond these two different generations while talking skincare, and it all tied in. Okay. Yeah. And it was kind of a heartfelt commercial, but then there's a girl, I think her name was Cera on TikTok, who came out and she said, when CeraVe steals your idea. Oh. And what had happened is a while ago, she posted a video that was pretty much frame by frame the same concept with her dad. Oh. And it even goes down to the fact that Cera was black and the dad was white, and it was the same in the CeraVe commercial.
Oh.
The framing is even very similar. The girl is sitting in the front doing her makeup, and the dad comes in through the door in the back. It is very, very, very similar. They both have the product on the face. If you watch it, the coincidence is undeniable. At this point, I can't help but think it can't be a coincidence because it's
the same. 100% copy.
And so there's a lot of questioning. Who was in charge of making this commercial? Were Cera and her dad on a mood board somewhere and they're just hoping that CeraVe wouldn't find out?
Yeah.
And what went down is somebody getting fired.
How would they not find out? It's being played for like millions and millions of people? Of course, like if I saw something like that I posted that, like, you know, you think you came up with like a creative concept.
Yeah.
And then you essentially see a duplicate of it on like mass TV, like while Usher is dancing. You're like, yeah, of course. Like, I feel like you stole my concept.
You're going to feel ripped off.
Oh, 100%.
So in your eyes, without me telling you what's gone on since then, how should CeraVe respond?
I would at least reach out to her and like in some way maybe like give her, you know, props for the concept. Mm-hmm. Like, because they didn't take her video and just like put it out there, right? And like didn't credit it, like didn't repost
They could have even hired her and her dad to be the actors in this commercial.
Yeah, and then they could have literally reposted her concept essentially, right?
Mm-hmm. And there was even apparently, I didn't see this part, but apparently at the very end it said based on true events or something like that.
Oh.
And so
that's
it started to spark conversation of, are these true events that you're basing it on actually you just stealing a creator's concept and not crediting them? And is that okay? And in my opinion, no, it's not. But things have happened that have changed my opinion on CeraVe since then.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, first of all, people started calling them out on social media because immediately people went behind Cera and her dad and were like, hey, we support you.
Yeah.
And CeraVe responded to a comment on TikTok. Hi, we love Cera's content. We recently just found out about her this morning and we think her stuff is great. So they're acknowledging that they did not see her stuff beforehand. And then they said, we've reached out to her to make things right or something like that.
Okay.
So everybody's hoping like hopefully something happens where it's going to be okay. But she has since just recently, like literally hours ago, posted a story where she said, CeraVe has reached out. We've had a conversation. Things are okay now. Because before she was feeling very slighted. Her dad was quite upset. Yeah. Now they're feeling okay. And then she just posted a TikTok on her page where she is now a CeraVe partner. Aww. So I am really happy that they responded almost immediately. Yeah. And they fixed the problem. And not only did they apologize or credit her, but they actually...
Or like double down.
Or double down, but they brought her in and said, you know what? We acknowledge what you're doing and we think it's great and we're going to build you up and we want you to be a part of our creator team. Yeah. So I think that was great.
No, so that is great.
So that one has a happy ending for
note.
On the Rocks, but the drama is definitely still there.
Yeah, oh no. They could have definitely doubled down because like, you know, there are tons of brands who are like, we didn't do anything wrong.
Girl.
Yeah, that was... And they just...
What was her name?
I forget her name, but do you remember they just doubled down being like, she decided to leave on her own when they just didn't invite her to like the rest of the days when like Alex Earl was there.
Mm-hmm. That was really bad.
See, like that's a brand doubling down. You don't ever want to do that.
No.
With what CeraVe did is like they actually owned up to it. They're like, oh, you know what? We kind of messed up.
And they
like,
made it right. And I'm hoping that she's getting paid too, that she's not just getting gifted product. I'm assuming she is because she seemed really pleased after that conversation.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I just want to know who brought this concept forward. Did they have their TikTok as a mood board and is this person still employed?
I bet you anything. It's probably like, you know when you're like, you're told to like look for content that's like could potentially go viral. I feel like so many people were just probably researching it. Yeah. And they saw the video. I guarantee you, there's no way.
No.
And then they're like, they're probably not going to notice. But it's like, come on.
Yeah. There's another piece of drama on the internet right now that is kind of dramatic in my opinion. And it has to do with a food blogger from the USA. Mm-hmm. His name is Keith Lee, and he is quite famous for doing food reviews on TikTok. Yeah. And what he does is he goes to restaurants that aren't as well known, like dives, usually restaurants that could like use some support, hole in the walls, that might have really good food, but they don't have the marketing team or whatever it is. And he goes and he reviews their food, just really honestly. And he has grown a massive following on social media. And part of why he's grown this following is, first of all, he's extremely kind. He's very nice.
Yeah.
He's very supportive. He really likes to support Black-owned businesses or restaurants that are very small and can really...
struggling.
Yeah, struggling. He wants to build up those restaurants to like give them exposure, and it's really worked. And he has gotten so much fame lately that now he doesn't tell restaurants before he's gonna go so that he doesn't get any special treatment.
He literally has to like fake, either like if he's like doing it through DoorDash or like he has to get his wife in sometimes and use a fake name.
Yeah, and so previously he used to be able to walk into a restaurant and order and walk out. Now he's so known he can't do that. So he'll have aliases and everything like that. And he recently went to a place called... No, I'm not even going to say the name. He recently went to a restaurant.
Because they kind of don't exist at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty... Yeah. So he recently went to a restaurant that wanted his help, basically. And he gave them a really great review. Yeah. And he was really happy with a lot of aspects of his service, his food, the atmosphere. So
like
much
the vibes.
The vibes, so much so that not only did he give them a really glowing review or had planned on it, but that he also offered them a really big tip, like a $4,000 tip.
Yeah.
And he said that part of it was that he wanted this tip to be distributed between some of the people who were out there hustling. And it wasn't just the restaurant. There was a barber who was out front. There was a braider. And then there were the restaurant workers. And he thought that the barber and the braider were part of the restaurant. He wasn't sure though, but when he gave the tip to the restaurant owner, he said, here is this, give $1,000 to this person, give $1,000 to this person, you take this, here's $800 so that if people come,
you can give it to
you
them.
can give it to give them their meal for free all day long. I've paid for everybody's meals today. Like a very, very generous act. And then he said, distribute it however fits best for you, meaning like whether it's PayPal or cash or however you choose to pay these people. And he left. Later, he finds out that the store owner did not tip the people, the braider, the barber that he asked for them to tip. They kept it all for themselves.
You know, they also only gave 3 people food.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she pretty much pocketed the $800 as well. Only 3 people after he left got food.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
And then when the restaurant started getting criticism about it, they came out and said, well, he said distribute it however we want.
Yeah.
Which is completely misconstruing his words, because when he said distribute it however you want, he wasn't saying financially like split it up in terms of this person gets $0 and this person gets $0 like, and you keep it all. He means
form.
You can either cash app it or add it to their salary or
write him a check.
Write him a check. Like that's what he meant. And it was very clear, and he had video evidence to support it even after the restaurant did it. And it caused a lot of controversy, and the restaurant has now basically shut down because of it, because they were greedy over this extra like $2,000 that was going to the barber and the braider. And I think the reason that he didn't want to,
even the server, like she like withheld it or whatever.
Yeah, and I think part of why the restaurant didn't want to give the money to the barber and the braider is because they actually weren't affiliated with the restaurant.
Yeah, they were like her son's friends or something who were just helping out. But I was like, okay, even if they're helping out, they're helping you increase like your business. It's technically like a marketing strategy. I would see it that way.
And that's how he saw it. That's how that's what he thought it was.
Yeah.
But this restaurant was so greedy over this few $1,000s that they chose to keep for themselves that they completely ruined themselves. Because Keith Lee, when he goes to a restaurant, if he gives a positive review, within the day, it's full. Yeah. Like they will never have a problem with business again.
Like there's
typically.
lines
out the door. Yeah. He has made some businesses really succeed that previously just weren't on the map.
Yeah, like they were literally like flopping, and like people will literally be like, yeah, you like resuscitated like my dad's business.
And so greed got to this business,
and they like really screwed themselves over, because I'm like, here you're like, oh my god, a $4,000 profit. It's like you could have made hundreds of thousands of dollars, like literally hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I feel like they could have taken that momentum of him coming and given the people the free meal so that they're talking about it. Yeah. And it's just gonna grow. Yeah. It's gonna be like a snowball effect, you know? Yeah. But they chose not to do that, and look what happened.
I know. Honestly, I was so surprised, because like, you know, there's always like, he reviews certain places, and like you saw when he gave like a bad review to like that place, and it wasn't even that bad. And
what happened again?
Remember where like he went to Atlanta?
Yeah.
And there was that restaurant that made him wait really long.
Oh, yeah.
And like they had those absurd rules about like not dining in, but had to be takeout from like certain times. And he's like, this is absurd. Like, why can't I just come in and eat with my family? And he obviously did end up getting the food, which obviously wasn't even that good. So he didn't even bash them. He just kind of was like, yeah, like the food.
And
is
that's the thing. He
mediocre.
doesn't bash people.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
very just honest about his
He'll literally be like,
interactions.
if he doesn't like the food, he's like, you know, this is just not my type of food, or like, I don't really enjoy these kinds of flavors. Like, he says that all the time. He's like, I don't really enjoy dessert, so this might be too sweet for me, but you might enjoy it. But remember that they also lost a lot of business.
I don't even know if they're still open as well.
Yeah.
Or if they are, I'm sure they're struggling.
They also got a lot of flack. That.
Because he has a bit of a cult following. I
He
feel like
does.
that's kind of the trend of this episode, things that have cult followings.
Totally.
Yeah, but that's crazy. To go off of our feeling shook by stories, we're going to move into the shaken, not stirred section of the podcast. And this is the things that truly shook us up this week. Things that we couldn't believe. And I have one.
Okay.
And you're going to think I'm dumb. Because Ananya's...
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Ananya's an accountant. And so she deals with a lot of money. And I'm not an accountant. I hire an accountant to deal with my money because I don't want to have to deal math.
With it. No.
Yeah. So I've always heard the terms I paid cash. So like say I bought this house, I paid cash. Okay. And typically it's like really rich people who are like, yeah, I bought it and paid cash. In my head, that meant that they walked in with a duffel bag of money. Like they're going to the bank and withdrawing $1 million and taking it, like paid cash. Like how does that work in my head? I was like, wow, they paid cash. But it doesn't mean that you paid cash. No. It just means you paid for it in full and you didn't take out a mortgage or something.
Yeah.
Why would you say paid cash? Sorry, I'm like screaming into my mic. Why would you say that you paid cash for that?
It just means like it's full cash value. So like normally you would get like a bank draft. Like even if it's $1 million, no bank carries $1 million.
Well, I thought you'd have to like call in ahead of time and plan. No, but like, why would you say I paid cash? You're not paying cash. You're still paying through. No, that's not cash. Cash is stuff you can hold.
Technically, a bank draft you can hold. That's normally how they pay cash. So like a person will be like,
so you would call a bank draft cash?
Yeah, it's cash.
I disagree, but anyways, I learned that today and it blew my mind, shook me up. I thought that these rich millionaires were walking around with bags of cash.
That's so funny. That's why when you said that, I was like, you know, they just like write like a bank draft because it's liquid. Like once you hand it to someone, like it's literally cash.
And my next topic actually is going back to the food that we were talking about. It has to do with kitchens that are on Uber Eats. You've ordered Uber Eats.
Of course.
Are you a fan?
I am.
Have you ever discovered a restaurant through Uber Eats?
Sometimes.
Okay, there's a thing called ghost kitchens. A ghost kitchen is where a really popular restaurant, like a Denny's, one that might not have like necessarily the best reputation, changes its name on Uber Eats, changes the menu, and is offering food items that are from like a new restaurant that you're like, oh, I've never eaten from.
Really?
Melty Yummy Burger. I'm going to order from Melty Yummy Burger, but it's actually just a part of a Denny's. And if you search up the address, you can see that. And some people are loving it because they're like, wow, I'm discovering these new places, but it's really just glorified Denny's or other restaurants posing as a different restaurant. Like if you were to pull up, that restaurant doesn't exist.
Really?
Yeah. Have you heard of this?
No, but like why would they be doing that?
Because I think it's smart marketing. I think that they know that not a million people are going to order from a Denny's. So let's change it up. Let's change our name to Crazy Chicken Fried Burger. And then people are going to order from Crazy Chicken. I'm making these names up.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Like,
yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, I have never heard of this place. Their menu looks kind of interesting. And then they'll order. And some people love it. They're like, the food is amazing. And that's good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a little bit deceptive.
Oh, that is. I get it's almost like false advertising.
A little bit. But I guess it's. Yeah,
I guess as
I
long
know,
as like, the
feelings.
people aren't disappointed with the food, but like it just feels like false advertising.
Okay, one last chicken not stirred.
Okay.
People apparently in Victorian ages used to put their celery on display in their houses in vases because celery used to be very hard to grow.
Oh.
It wasn't
so it
like
was
genetically
like
modified like it was today.
Yeah.
And so it was very like a rich and like luxurious thing to have if you had celery in your house, and so you put it on display to display your wealth.
That's a new one. I did not know
And
that.
so if you're thrifting, you can actually find celery vases sometimes
What?
that people used to display their celery in.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Are you shook?
I am actually shook because
Yeah.
I'm thinking of celery and like I just imagine like the sticks like looking like they're like like stems of flowers.
Yeah.
Nothing on them. Just chilling.
Just like it's like a Caesar without the Caesar.
Literally, it's like in water. I'm like, it looks so dumb.
That's so funny.
You're like, I'm a rich person. Look at my vase full of celery. You're like,
I
okay,
feel
cool.
like celery does not deserve to be put on display in my mind. Celery is
No,
not
like
that
even
good
a
to me.
carrot. At least it has like the little greener. Like celery
I was
just
like,
looks
yeah, it's just green.
like nothing.
Maybe it used to look cooler before it was genetically modified.
Maybe it did look cool. Then you know what? I'll give the Victorians some slack for that.
But we're going to move into our bottoms up section of the podcast. This is what we are obsessed with, unlike celery.
Oh.
And so, what are you currently obsessed with right now?
So I'm planning a trip to Japan. I know. So I'm like obsessed with like the food and all the things I want to see.
Where are you going?
I'm just going to Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. But pretty much like all the things I want to see are like all the things I want to eat. Like
That's so fun.
It's like, you should see my like list. It's just like, okay, this ramen place or like this dessert place. I'm like, so I'm essentially doing like a food tour by myself.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Solo travel.
It's literally all food. I have no locations. It's just food.
You're going to have so much fun.
Yeah, I'm going to eat a lot. I'm hoping all the walking will help for that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Are you going to stay in one of those like sleep pods?
I was thinking about it.
Really?
Just to like like
experience
the capsule
it? Yeah,
hotel.
like the capsule hotel.
But you also know me. I'm so bougie.
No, I don't think you would survive in
yeah,
one
I
of
know.
those.
That's why I was like, should I do one night? And I was
And Anya's a luxury hotel type of person.
like, I'm not super luxury, but you know, we've roughed it before.
We've slept in the car so many times.
And we slept in that room with the cockroaches.
Oh my gosh, and the spider in the drawer. There was this spider that was like curled up that was like the size of, do you remember
You
that
couldn't
in
even
Puerto Rico?
open it.
I don't even want to think about Hamish's mom is getting surgery right now because she got bit by a spider. I'll tell you about that
She's
later.
also in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, that's Australia. Everybody says you don't get bit by a spider until you do.
Yeah, exactly.
But hopefully she's doing okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's my, yeah.
Okay, what's yours? What's yours?
My current obsession is the concept that you can chase where summer is in the world forever and never have to live a winter.
She said chasing summer initially to me, and I was like,
Like the music festival? I'm
And
gonna go
like,
to a rave.
I was like, you're like the opposite. I feel like
I've been to chasing summer.
Yeah, I feel
back
like,
in the day, I've been.
I just can't see you going right now. Like,
It's not my pace anymore. Once upon a time when I was like 18 and dating a guy who was a self-proclaimed raver.
Oh, yeah.
I was the only person of our group of 17 who didn't do drugs.
See, that's why I can't see. That's why when you're like, yeah, I've been there. I was like, I just can't imagine.
No, it's just not my scene.
It's not you.
But now my chasing summer doesn't have to do with raves. It has to do with catching flights to go to Australia when it's cold here.
Yeah.
Or to go somewhere where it's warm and just like forever just escaping the cold weather.
Chloe's a helophile.
Yeah.
You just love the sun.
I love the sun. I could just bake in the sun until I die and I'd still be happy.
I know.
I don't care if I'm sunburned or anything. Like, I love it. I'm leaving to Mexico tomorrow, by the way. I'm so excited. So yeah, that'll be good. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's all. We didn't even finish our drinks.
I feel like this is hard.
It's kind of hard to chug. It's super sour.
It is super sour.
We should cheers for the goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. Actually, first I'd like to say, today I hit 50 followers. Okay, my goal when I started this podcast for the year was to hit 100 followers. And we're 4 episodes in and we're at 50. So I just want to say thank you so seriously so much for listening to this podcast right now. I'm seriously so grateful for every single person who takes the time out of their day, even if you only listen for 3 minutes, to listen. If you are listening right now, this is the time where you click into the app and you go and you give it a 5-star review. If you're enjoying listening. If you're not enjoying listening, you don't have to give it a review. But if you are, the 5-star reviews mean a lot to me, and I'm just so happy that you guys are here.
Or just let us know what we can do to fix it.
Oh yeah, I also have a form if you go into the description on the episode where you can go and suggest topics. So if there's like some drama that's happening or something trending that you want us to talk about, you can go into the form that's linked in the description and give us some talking points so that we can add it.
Some insights.
Yeah, and maybe we'll talk about your topic. And so I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll be back next week. But until then, cheers!